In this video, I give you 5 April Kickstarters that might just hoover up all of your hobby dollars. Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you 5 Kickstarters that are either ending or have launched in April 2018. But before that, if this is your first time watching, thanks very much. Why not click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss an upload from me. So without further ado, let's get straight into the list. Godtia is the latest game by Steamforged Games, creators of the Guild Ball and Dark Souls games. This is something slightly different to your average miniatures game out there. It sees you taking your warband, made up of champions and their followers, to battle rival warbands for control of the powerful god tiers that are scattered across the land. This is a 2-player game and consists of 1v1, 2v2 or 3v3, where you can take a mix of any champions and their followers and play them together. There's no factions or alliances to worry about, and there's no point costs. Think of it like putting together 3 Shadespire warbands to battle alongside each other. Each champion is loosely categorised into one of 4 distinct classes. We have Slayers, which are the big one-hit damage dealing champions. We have Guardians, the tough, tanky type champions. There's Maelstroms, which are multiple attack, fast moving champions. And lastly, Shapers, who are the champions that can move other models around and focus on the scenarios. You win the game by dragging the turn token across the ladder to your side of the board by taking out other players' champions, culling their followers, and controlling the god tiers. Whichever player has the token on their side of the board at the end of the turn gains the victory points shown on the reverse of the token, and this changes during the course of the game. The winner is the first to 5 victory points. The game has already launched and has smashed through its £30,000 funding target, reaching £241,000 at this time of recording, and it's already racking up the stretch goals. If you're wanting to find out more or get on board with the Kickstarter, it ends on Monday, the 23rd of April, and as with all of the Kickstarters featured in this video, you'll find a link to it down below in the description. Arena the Contest is the first game from Delaware-based company Dragori Games. It's a turn-based tactical miniature combat board game that can be played by up to 8 players. You can play a player versus player team competition or a co-op dungeon crawler. There's also a solo mode and a campaign. The game comes with 12 heroes to choose from, 10 foes and a huge dragon. There's a small forest worth of tokens, game board tiles, cards and character sheets, and that's before I mention the expansions, the unlocks and a pretty impressive looking Hydra model. The PvP portion of the game is very reminiscent of MOBA games such as League of Legends, whereas the champion portion reminds me very much of Hero Quest, so there's some real play options in this one. The core box comes with cardboard terrain, however, if you get on board with the Kickstarter, there's some very nice looking sculpted terrain which is available as an optional expansion alongside extra hero miniatures. There's some neat looking things in this game too, such as the way the health of your heroes is tracked along the edge of the board, and the campaign mode with multiple quests with branching outcomes looks like it has a lot of replayability built into this game. These quests can be played as one-shot adventures or as a full campaign that carries over items and artifacts that you discover on your journey. The game board also flips over to have a blank arena on the other side, which you can then craft your own scenarios or quests, and this again adds to the depth of the game. This one has gone under my radar a little if I'm honest, however after finding it I'm suitably impressed. Even more impressive is that for a first game from the folks at Dragori Games, it's already smashed through its £35,000 funding target and already has £338,000 pledged. If you want to get on board with this one, you have until Friday, April 27th, when this one closes. Street Fighter the Miniatures game is another game by Jasco Games, who also created Mega Man the board game, so you can see there's a real passion for retro digital gaming. Now the big selling point for this game, for fans of Street Fighter franchise, is the miniatures. They are much larger than usual miniatures that you would get in a board game, and they come fully painted, so they're perfect for gamers and collectors alike. They stand at between 65mm and 85mm and come on a whopping 58mm base, so that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of size you can expect. This game is suitable for 2 to 6 players and each game plays in around 30 minutes, so it's quite a quick game to play. You can play in a team mode of up to 3 versus 3, as a boss mode with 3 versus 1, or in a free-for-all with up to 6 players. The base level pledge, whilst a little higher priced than some other Kickstarters, does come with 8 pre-painted fighters. It also comes with 4 themed mats to play on with 3D terrain, over 428 cards, along with character cards and player boards. The stretch goals are also unlocking further fighters, and as of recording, there's been another 4 added to the pledge with more to unlock. The game seems pretty easy to pick up, with the basic mechanics being draw 2 cards, move your fighter, and then fight. The fight section basically equates to doing any 2 actions from move, draw, or play a card, which you can do in any order and to any amount. You can also choose to defend whilst you're being attacked, and you have the choice of block or counterattack. This sees you being able to strike your opponent, or maybe even blast a projectile across the board, causing damage to your opponent on their turn. There's also some very amazing looking expansions which draw from Street Fighter Alpha, along with Street Fighters 2, 3, 4 and 5. Again, this one has already launched and again already funded. It has racked up a quite impressive £583,000 and still has 23 days to go. If you want to get onto this with your gaming buddies, then get on board before Saturday, May the 5th. Zombicide Invader by Simon is another iteration of the Zombicide franchise. This time it's based in space. It's a standalone co-op board game for 1 to 6 players in which you control a group of survivors trying to defend their remote mining outpost from a swarm of infected aliens, which are controlled by the game mechanics. This being the 4th standalone Zombicide game, you can be sure that the rules have been even more refined and you can expect more of the same, but this time with a little more polish. As with all Simon games, you can expect a ton of stuff in the Kickstarter. The core box alone comes with 72 miniatures even before any unlocks are added, of which you can then expect a whole lot more. The miniatures look great quality, and using their previous games as a benchmark, I'm sure you won't be disappointed when it finally delivers. There's a really interesting expansion available to add on to your pledge called Zombicide Black Ops, which sees you being able to increase the size of the game for up to 12 players at once. Stretch goals, as always with Simon Kickstarters, are coming thick and fast, with some recognisable likenesses in there too. This game hit its funding target of £176,000 in about 15 minutes, and it's currently sitting pretty at £652,000, although by the time you see this, it's probably doubled. Get onto this fast and watch those stretch goals come tumbling down, as it ends on Friday, May the 4th. The last one in today's list is Hellboy by Mantic Games. Now, Mantic Games are no strangers when it comes to comic book tie-ins, with the success of The Walking Dead in their stable of games. This game's rules are being written by James Hewitt, who has worked on rules in the past for games such as Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Blood Bowl, Silver Tower and Necromunda, so you know it's in safe hands. Details are a little thin right now as the Kickstarter hasn't launched just yet, but you can check out my interview with James to see a little bit more of details about what's to come. The miniatures for this are starting to surface with some amazing paint jobs done by the Heraldez studio that really show off the quality of the minis. I'll be watching this one closely as I was lucky enough to be involved in the playtesting, so whilst I can't say too much about it, I can just let you know that it's definitely one to watch for. The Kickstarter for this one goes live on Wednesday the 25th of April, so make sure you set your alarms, or Big Red might just have something to say about it. That's it for this roundup. Let me know down in the comments if you've enjoyed this, as if you have, it might be something I do on a monthly basis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.